The government is getting more help from the United States in a partnership in the war against drugs.
Yesterday, additional equipment was handed over as the neighbors beef up security to put a dent in crime. Janina Ferguson has more.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force received its fourth installment of 2 Apostle interceptor vessels from the United States Embassy on Thursday. The high-speed vessels will be used to police waters against drug traffickers and human smugglers in Exuma and Inagua. U.S. Embassy Charge Affairs Lisa Johnson hopes that the new equipment will further the success already being enjoyed on the high seas.
So our joint work in countering narcotic trafficking continues to produce great results, including just last month the seizure of 266 kilograms of cocaine in Freeport and in Inagua, and the seizure of 580 kilograms of cocaine in Bimini in December.
Police and government officials had an opportunity to test ride the new vessels, which Minister of National Security Dr. Bernard Nottage said is strategically aligned with the country's national anti-drug strategy.
The illicit drug trade lies at the core of the crime situation in the Bahamas. Drug trade contributes to the availability of illegal firearms as drug traffickers use guns to protect their drugs. Local drug pushers have come together into criminal gangs and compete for limited turf in which to operate. These gangs are responsible for much of the violence and murders that we are currently experiencing. So efforts to combat drug trafficking is also an effort to combat violent crimes on our streets.
He said that while efforts are being made to stomp out drug trafficking with the use of the new vessels, drug users also need help to reduce the demand.
Persons suffering from drug addiction require special attention through a drug treatment court, where the goal is treatment as opposed to incarceration. This renewed focus on prevention and rehabilitation are some of the highlights of our government's citizen security and justice program. By targeting at-risk youth and strengthening institutional capabilities of the justice system, we can successfully combat the drug and crime issue on all fronts.
The U.S. Embassy will also provide training and safety equipment for the 2 41-feet Apostle vessels. Janina Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Immigration Minister Fred Mitchell has called for an investigation into how the Supreme Court released 2 Cuban nationals yesterday. The government believes Lazaro Sierra and Carlos Pupu are national security risks. The Cubans were freed by Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs Thursday after being detained at the Bahamas Department of Corrections for nearly 3 years. The pair was initially held at the Carmichael Road Detention Center, but later moved to the prison and placed in maximum security. Mitchell noted that all border forces have been notified of the potential risk these individuals pose to the general community. Minister Mitchell will make a full report on this matter in the next session of Parliament, which is set for February 24th.
The mother of one of the victims killed in that double murder on Andros 2 years ago testified during trial today. Fern Carey is following the case.
The mother of murder victim Tishka Brainan told jurors during the trial before Justice Indra Charles that the last time she saw her 28-year-old daughter alive was back on November 23rd of 2013. Looking at a photo album of the crime scene, the mother testified that her daughter had a 9-year-old son whom she never left alone for long periods of time. Prosecutors alleged that Brainan was at the Central Andros home of a friend, senior immigration officer, 49-year-old Shane Gardner, when the accused, Daniel Coakley, Zintwan Duncombe, Cordero Sanders, and James Johnson, broke into the home between November 24th and December 21st of 2013 and kidnapped the couple. The Crown further contends that prior to the couple's mysterious disappearance, witnesses overheard the defendants plotting to rob Gardner of his winnings, which were between $8,000 and $9,000. According to the Crown, the defendants took the couple deep into the bushes on Newbold Farm, shot Gardner in the head, and placed him in a makeshift rock grave after he said he did not have any money. Gardner's decomposing body was later discovered by hunters. Brainan's body was also discovered nearby in a hole about 10 feet deep. During the trial, the prosecution is expected to call at least 10 witnesses, including several police officers. Justice Indra Charles is presiding over the case. Brent Carey, 7S Network News.
A date has been set in the trial of 3 young men accused of killing Queens College primary school teacher Joyelle McIntosh back on November 11th. Armando Sargent, Johnny Mackey, and another male who was a juvenile at the time of the offense are scheduled to go on trial September 26th. The teacher was gunned down as she sat in her car at the intersection of Village and Parkgate roads. The trio is also accused of attempting to rob her of her 2009 silver Toyota Corolla. Justice Ian Winder is expected to preside over the case. The defendants remain on remand at the Department of Corrections.
If you know of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 328-8477, toll free 242-300-8477. You can also check them out on www.crimestoppersbahamas.com. Let's stop the crime before it's your time.